This is an expert's report to responses to enslavement. Most people throughout the world know that Americans and Europeans went to Africa, captured Africans, shipped them on boats, and shipped them to Americas to be slaves. This is an example. This is a picture that represents a slave master or a ship captain and slaves captured Africans. The conditions on these boats were terrible. They were poorly fed, poorly clothed, and poorly treated. They were abused daily. Some Africans on the boat believed that they were on their ship ride to hell. So, to prevent from going to hell, they took matters into their own hands by uprising against the ship crew and getting killed by them, or they took their own lives by jumping overboard and drowning themselves. Once they got to America, the Africans became slaves. They could not retaliate against any abuse that their slave masters put upon them. Women can be abused at any time sexually by their slave master. There was a picture of a woman being dragged away by her slave master. She is so hopeless, like she can't do anything to prevent from being abused by the slave master. House slaves and field slaves worked on a man's plantation. It said that house slaves were treated far better than field slaves because they were poorly clothed. They were better clothed and better fed. House slaves sometimes prepared foods and beverages of the slave master. At any time, they could have easily poisoned their slave master to get him sick or to kill him. There is a picture of a teacup, which represents the preparation of a deadly drink that could kill a slave master. During slavery, it was a war called the Civil War, and during this time, slaves took the opportunity to run away. The escape path was called the Underground Railroad, and some slaves made it across the borderline for freedom and some did not. Here's a picture of a slave running away. This slave looked like he doesn't make it. So slaves who were free sometimes took the opportunity to write up to other slaves through books or letters. A man named William Grimes took the opportunity to write a book to slaves and give them an opportunity to read and learn how to run away and tell how he did it himself. Here's a picture of his book. Slaves who believed slavery should be ended at any time were called abolitionists. A man named William Garrison wrote a song called "Song of the Abolitionist." The song did not have any background music to be played to, but his lyrics were sometimes played on a song called "Auld Lang Syne." My question for the viewers are, if you were a slave and was forced to do whatever orders were given to you by your master and being physically and mentally abused daily, do you think you would give in to your master? Do you run away, or do you rebel or try to kill him? And how do you deal with the living conditions that the slaves had to face every single day of their lives?